Hello everyone. The world is getting weirder every day. Strange sights, mysterious sounds, and unexplainable moments are leaving people everywhere wondering what's really happening. From the deepest oceans to the farthest skies, something unusual seems to be unfolding around us. On September 24th, 2025, a shocking scene unfolded in Bangkok.
ดีถล่มหมดเลยไฟดับแน่อุ้ยฮะถนนสุดเลยเนี่ยเยอะเลยเสาไฟฟ้าไฟดับแน่
A massive sinkhole suddenly opened up in the middle of a city street, 27 meters wide and nearly 50 meters deep. The culprit was a failed metro construction project that tore down power lines and burst a water pipe.
อุ้ยอุ้ยอุ้ยอุ้ยอุ้ยอุ้ยอุ้ยตายแล้วว่าแล้ว
Only in Florida, an alligator casually strolling onto a runway. Locals weren't even surprised. On April 22, 2024, wildlife officers captured a 10-foot-long gator wandering across the tarmac. Arachnophobes, look away. Rising water levels in a nearby creek drove thousands of spiders into a man's backyard in New South Wales, Australia. He didn't notice at first, but one morning, his entire garden was blanketed in webs. Now it belonged to the spiders. Following recent vehicle accidents in India, live or fresh fish have been found scattered on the road after trucks carrying the seafood have overturned. When these incidents happen, it can create a major traffic hazard and attract crowds of people attempting to collect the fish. Emperor penguins only live in Antarctica, which is why an Australian family couldn't believe their eyes when one appeared on a nearby beach.
Oh, she. Wow. Are you a little lost? Yeah. Hello. Yeah, you're lost. Oh,
the penguin.
These odd-looking creatures are goose barnacles, crustaceans that thrive in salty waters with regular tides. They cling to hard surfaces like driftwood, ships, or even other marine animals. In fact, these barnacles are the reason ships began using anti-fouling paint to prevent them from sticking. Welcome to the Wild West, where tumbleweeds don't just roll through the desert, they take over entire towns. This invasive plant spreads fast, and once, it grew so out of control it nearly shut down a small California town by blocking every road.
It's gotta be an
People visiting the Bahamas for a relaxing vacation were in for a surprise. They got to witness a SpaceX rocket launch right before their eyes. This isn't a doomsday scene. It's San Francisco on September 9, 2020. Wildfires consumed over 2 million acres of nearby land, filling the air with thick smoke. The haze filtered out blue light, casting everything under an eerie orange glow. The city spent an entire day without true sunlight. A true nightmare for insect haters? In spring 2016, Madagascar faced a full-blown locust invasion. Millions of larvae hatched at once, covering everything in sight. The government had to launch a massive operation to contain the outbreak and bring the population under control.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. Holy that is a giant shooting star.
On March 25, 2021, people in Oregon were convinced they were witnessing a meteor shower. In reality, it was debris from a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket re-entering Earth's atmosphere after failing to stay in orbit. About a month after launch, pieces of the rocket began falling from the sky, dazzling but not celestial.
Mom, Dad. Mom. Dad. Mom.
There are only around 800 mud volcanoes on the planet, and Malaysia happens to be home to some of them. These rare geological wonders form under unique conditions: a crustal depression, underground water, and oil or gas beneath the surface. The latest eruption was just the third in its history, witnessed by a few lucky tourists. In China, residents captured a breathtaking natural phenomenon on camera, something that requires near-perfect conditions. The sun must sit at least 58 degrees above the horizon. Cirrus clouds must be filled with ice crystals, and sunlight has to hit them at just the right angle. When all these elements align, the sky transforms into a stunning spectacle. Since 2019, Egypt has enforced strict laws banning people from climbing the pyramids of Giza. Offenders can face heavy fines, deportation, or even a travel ban. But of course, these rules only apply to humans. It might look like a cliff is bleeding, but don't be fooled. After heavy rains, water reacts with iron oxide in the rock, staining it a deep reddish hue, creating the illusion of a cliff that bleeds. Every time birds perch on power lines, they're taking a serious gamble. Footage from Mexico shows exactly why. An overloaded power line suddenly snapped, sending a flock of thrushes plummeting to the ground. The scene was so alarming that experts and police were called in. When fish start jumping out of the water erratically, it's never a good sign. In Yunnan province, China, residents feared it might signal an earthquake or an electrical leak underwater. But scientists later found the real reason: high levels of chemical pollution had left the fish gasping for oxygen. When deer start circling, it's a sight that feels both mysterious and mesmerizing. Sometimes they do this as a defensive behavior, moving in circles to stay alert and protect themselves from predators. In other cases, it might be due to disorientation caused by illness, parasites, or even magnetic disturbances. Whatever the reason, a group of deer moving in perfect circles creates an eerie yet fascinating glimpse into the hidden instincts of nature.
That's some scary shit. Get the here.
At first glance, it looks like a scene out of a sci-fi movie, strange worm-like creatures moving in perfect sync. But it's actually just mosquito larvae.
like a necklace or something, like a shiny necklace.
That's disgusting.
When they swim together in a line or circle, it gives the illusion of a mysterious alien organism. Storms can be breathtaking too. A time-lapse from Arizona captures the summer monsoon sweeping across the desert. Wind, rain, and lightning painting the horizon. Beautiful from afar, terrifying up close. In the middle of the Algerian desert, a group of men digging for water made an unexpected discovery. Instead of water, black oil burst from the ground. Ironically, they weren't happy about it. Algeria already ranks 16th in the world for oil reserves, but fresh water is far more precious. Rain in the desert may sound like a blessing until it doesn't stop. After more than 2 weeks of torrential rain, a mountain range in Libya transformed into a dangerous river of mud and rock. The desert had become a floodplain. Yes, that's a fish swimming across a road. Welcome to Mason County, USA. During floods, salmon migrate from one river to another and have learned to cross roads when water covers them. Locals hardly bat an eye anymore. Ever seen a hole in the sky? It's real. These rare fall streak holes form when supercooled water droplets in clouds freeze suddenly, causing the surrounding droplets to evaporate and leave a circular gap. On the beaches of Menorca, the shore turned translucent pink when hundreds of thousands of jellyfish washed ashore. Thankfully, these jellyfish were harmless, but most beachgoers still stayed far from the water. For turtles, winter and frozen rivers are hardly a problem. Some species can spend the entire season beneath layers of ice. They possess an incredible ability to slow their metabolism. The colder it gets, the less energy and oxygen they need. Instead of breathing through their lungs, they survive by drawing on stored energy and absorbing small amounts of oxygen from the water around them. This is what happens when the instinct to follow the herd takes over. It's one reason sheep may start walking in circles. But it's not the only one. Being confined too long in a pen or suffering from certain neurological infections can also cause the behavior. Most often, though, it's simply their natural urge to mimic one another. Take a closer look. Sometimes nature paints its own portraits. Right above us, clouds become the canvas, forming shapes and faces that seem almost intentional.
Как медуза какая-то.
Реально, слоеное небо. А,
Scenes like this reveal clear evidence of an earthquake. When one strikes, the soil can lose its firmness and behave more like liquid, a process known as liquefaction. The ground loses its structure, pushing water up to the surface and leaving patterns that tell the story of what happened below. When the sun sits low in the sky and its rays pass through rain clouds, light bends and scatters in just the right way to make the sky appear green. Our eyes interpret color through wavelengths, and when green light dominates, the result is a sky that looks strangely otherworldly.
It looks, to the eye, it's dimmer, but through the infrared night vision
Many
camera,
people thought it was an
dazzling.
alien invasion, a line of glowing lights
Darn obvious.
silently moving across the night sky.
We'll see if I have to move it. Because the tree... Yeah, this is a tough one. I have to get on my knees in order to move things around, I think. Sorry about the constant...
But in reality,
This is
it was SpaceX's
quite a bit of
Starlink
sky.
satellites, racing through space in perfect formation. These satellites orbit Earth to bring high-speed internet to even the most remote corners of the world, creating a dazzling yet eerie sight that has captured the imagination of skywatchers everywhere.
Starting to... Yeah. Maybe I'll leave it like that. I'm getting eclipsed, pretty sure. I'll move this over just to show you what else is happening.
At first glance, this patch of moss might seem a little odd. But it's not moss at all. These are arachnids known as harvestmen. They're famous for their extremely long legs in proportion to their small bodies. Unlike spiders, they don't produce silk and therefore can't spin webs as they lack the necessary glands. Harvestmen often cluster together in large groups for protection, creating what looks more like a soft, pulsing clump than a gathering of individual creatures. A chimney can also create a contrail. When water vapor condenses, it forms a neat streak of tiny droplets that stretches across the sky, much like the trail left behind by an airplane. Residents inside a house began hearing peculiar noises coming from the roof and decided to check it out. What they found was astonishing. Hidden beneath the shingles was a colony of bats. The creatures had taken refuge in the narrow crevices, using the roof as a nesting site. Had the homeowners delayed much longer, the bats might have completely overtaken the attic space. Mammatus clouds are typically a warning of approaching storms or thunderstorms, so while they're mesmerizing to look at, it's best to admire them safely from indoors.
The two stewards with the high jackets on, please move out before the shot. Thank you.
A living statue in the natural world, strange and mysterious to us, yet purely instinctive for ants. Because ants build their homes underground, floods force them to the surface. To survive, they band together, linking their bodies into a floating raft that can drift for weeks until the waters recede. It's a remarkable display of teamwork and resilience. No aliens were involved in this phenomenon. On the Canary Islands, farmers themselves sculpted the land, arranging crescent-shaped stone barriers to shield their crops from powerful winds. The volcanic ash on the ground helps trap moisture, turning once barren land into fertile vineyards that now produce exceptional wine. This isn't just any natural spring. It's a bubbling source of nutrients. Filmed in Azerbaijan, this mineral spring releases water that's naturally warm, reaching about 60 degrees Celsius. Though you can't see it, the water is packed with magnesium, iron, phosphorus, iodine, zinc, and other vital minerals. Truly, it's nature's fountain of vitality. The largest and most striking clouds are called mammatus. Their name comes from their distinctive pouch-like formations that resemble udders. These dramatic clouds develop when cold, sinking air meets warmer layers in the troposphere, forming uneven, lumpy structures across the sky.
¿Alguien sabe qué está pasando en el río Rima?
एक मिनट रुक जा यहीं पे रुक जाना यहीं पे अरे नहीं वो आगे मत जाना अम्ब्रेला नहीं है ना
The wind transformed this Indian waterfall into an unexpected wall of water, completely blocking the road and startling every driver who approached it.
I got that one.
There's a beach that's best visited after dark. During summer and early autumn, the shores of Ping'an Island in China come alive with bioluminescence, a dazzling natural display created by tiny organisms in the water. When disturbed, these plankton emit flashes of electric blue light. With millions of them floating near the surface, the sea glows brilliantly, turning the night into a scene of pure magic.
Here, Mara River, Masai Mara. There goes a hippo out of water.
Ants, as always, prove their brilliance. Instead of wasting time navigating around obstacles, they've evolved a more efficient method. When one ant reaches the edge, it grips tightly and dangles into the gap, allowing others to attach themselves in sequence until they form a living bridge. It's a perfect example of their remarkable engineering instincts. Even stone can make music. In a few rare places around the world, deposits of diabase rock emit bell-like tones when struck. This natural phenomenon has captivated scientists for years, yet the mystery remains. No one has figured out exactly why these rocks ring. It looks like something straight out of a dream, a massive ship, not gliding through the sea but seemingly floating in midair. The illusion is so perfect, it almost feels like a scene from a science fiction movie. In reality, this rare phenomenon is known as a superior mirage, caused by layers of air at different temperatures bending light in unusual ways. When warm air sits above cold air near the ocean's surface, it can make distant objects, like ships, appear to hover above the water. It's nature's own magic trick, a reminder that even the most ordinary scenes can turn extraordinary under the right conditions. Check out this astonishing moment from Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. A family searching for their lost husky sent up a drone, only to discover something unbelievable. Their dog wasn't alone. He had seemingly joined a family of brown bears. The footage shows them roaming the wild landscape together, side by side like old friends. It's a touching reminder that even in the raw wilderness, bonds can form in the most unexpected ways. The Makara Jyoti of Sabarimala is one of India's most intriguing spiritual mysteries. Every year, on Makar Sankranti, millions of devotees gather to witness a divine light, a flickering flame that appears on the distant Ponnambalamadu hill, opposite the Sabarimala temple. Many believe it's a celestial manifestation marking the moment when Lord Ayyappa blesses his followers. The touch-me-not plant, also known as Mimosa pudica, is one of nature's most fascinating creations. At first glance, it looks like any other small, delicate green plant. Touch its leaves, and it instantly reacts. Within seconds, the leaves fold inward, and the stem droops, as if the plant is shy or alive with emotion. This movement, called thigmonesty, happens when the plant senses touch or vibration, causing a quick change in water pressure within its cells. Scientists believe it's a defense mechanism to protect itself from harm, like grazing animals or harsh weather.